Welcome to Richard Scale Modelling. This is part 3 of the Scania R620 Topline build. In this part I'm going to be dealing with building the inside of the cab. So hope you enjoy this. So let's jump into it. So to start off with, I'm going to be doing the seats now. They're all been painted in aluminium for the base coats. So the top seat part of the seat is getting painted in aqua colour 314, and that's beige. I decided to do different contrast colours here. So the middle part is getting painted in Revel aqua colour 84, which is leather brown, and the bottom part will be painted in aqua colour 06, which is tar black. Now the tar black gives it a nice black satin soft finish, so it looks a bit like a padded leather in my opinion. Now there's two bunks inside the cab, the bottom bunk and top bunk. So this is the bottom bunk, and there's three different colours going on here. For the sheet I'm using Revel Aqua Light Grey 371. Now the instructions calls for white, but I think the light grey stands out better. And for the pillow I'm using Revel Aqua Light Green number 55, just to give it a contrast out from the light grey. And also in the light green colour is the underside of the blanket, which unfortunately my hand's in the way there. You'll see on the next part the colour, the different contrasts going in. And there you go, just type it up now. So on the main part of the blanket, this is the Revel Aqua Colour Light Blue number 50, and just put it on nice and evenly. Again, like it be any painting, try and use thin coats. And next up is the steering wheel, and that's getting painted in the 06 tar colour. Again, it's the finish that I'm after. I'm after that soft satin finish. Now going on to the underside of the seat, so the shock absorbers on the sheet. The metal framework is painted in 91 steel, and the black, the rubber, is painted in life colour black and rubber shades, worn black this time, not to be confused with the burn black. So it's just a slightly different shade of black going on. Next up is a sub-assembly of the dashboard for the cab. I thought about doing it on the sprue here, so I'm just putting the two parts together on the sprue. They're all connected at the side area on the sprue, so you're not actually making life difficult for yourself if you leave it on the sprue. You know, the two contact points that will be raised or bumped that you can remove, and it's hidden anyway at the side of the cab. So next to be painted is the steering column on the cab, and again that's going to be the Revel Aqua Colour 06 tar. And now the glue's dried on the dashboard. I'm painting that in aqua colour gunship grey number 74. Now the instructions call for a dark grey, but I do like the gunship grey colour, and I think it lies down better. So for the sub-assembly of the chairs, first of all I'm starting with the suspension, and it's only two halves put together, and once they're together just do a little bit of touch up on the paint, and then it's back to the dashboard, and I'm just highlighting colours here now. So these are air vents and so forth, and these are getting painted in Tamiya's Gunmetal X10. As I said, it just highlights features on the dashboard. So just painting in the accelerator and brake pedal, so it's Revel Aqua Colour 99 aluminium, and the actual pedal will be 91 for steel. Now back to the seat. So fitting on the suspension and frame to the bottom of the chair and putting on the back support of the chair. Now the back support of the chair, as I said, was pre-painted with the metallic grey spray paint, which I decided to use when I found the green for the outer. So as I said, the predominant of the cab inside is still aluminium, so I just sprayed it up. So that's why you can see a lot of the painting already been done. Now inside the cab there's only one decal to put in, and that's for the dashboard. So I decided that it needed a little bit more, so I thought maybe the seats and the bed can do with some decoration, as well as the black wall of the cab, because on the back of the cab when you see them in real life, the drivers always decorate them with what they've got to hand really. So I thought I'd try and replicate that. So on an old sheet of decals that I've got in the spare, on the top part of the seat I put on a bird's head. I think it's a raven, could well be a sparrow, I have no idea. And on the dashboard it's its own decal which it is calling for. And on the bed, for the lower bunk, I'm placing on a sort of tiger with wings coming from its backwards head, and on the top it's a skull and crossbones, just to give it something to look at really. Now all those extra decals came from a sheet that was for a Merlin helicopter, which I didn't use because I only used certain parts of them, so it's always worth keeping them. Well, it's onto the main base unit now, and these are little struts that are putting in at the bottom of the base unit, and these will be what's going to be holding onto the main truck. They have little holes in them so that you can pass through wire or a bit of sprue or so forth if you want to have the cab swing over so that you can see the engine. And then it's back to the dashboard again, putting in the brake pedal and accelerator, as well as the gear stick. It's a little, yeah, they're quite small tiny parts, and I'm not sure where you can make them out. I'll try zooming in. So it's a little bit out of focus. I'm just increasing the size of the picture, not a proper zoom in, so that you can see. And then once the pedals are in, attaching the steering wheel to the steering wheel column. And on the side panels here, there's two small handrails that are going in, and these are painted in Rebel Aquacolor 99 aluminium. And then it's onto the back wall now, and I'm using two decals that came from my spare sheet, and these are just two small Union Jacks which will be placed just above the top bunk. For the overhead storage lockers, initially I painted the framework in dark grey, but I decided to change it to aluminium, so you may be a little bit confused why suddenly it changes from grey to aluminium. I kept the green colour for the front panel of the units, just to give it a little bit of standout and contrast. For the top bunk, I painted it in the light blue colour as the bottom bunk, and the decals that went on that are a fish, believe it or not, on the middle, and in the top there was a white dove. Now I did have I put a white dove on the bottom part of the bunk as well, but I didn't like both doves on it, so I took one off. So while I'm waiting for the decals to dry, I'm just assembling the overhead storage units. Now it's time to put all the sub-assembly parts together. I have to make a confession here. I actually done them in the wrong order. I didn't bother looking at the instructions. Well, I did and I didn't. The instructions weren't very clear on what order to place things in, so I did sort of wing it a bit. So I put the top bunk on first, then the side panels, and then after that I put in the chairs, then the dashboard, and lastly I put the bottom bunk in. But when I tried to put on the side walls, or the part that I'm assembling now, I couldn't get it to fit because the bunk was at the bottom bunk was in the way. So I thought I'd leave it in this video just to show you how easy it is to do it wrong. Now my wife builds these cabs all the time, and she said to me the first time she done one of them, she done the exact same thing. So maybe I should have asked her first. So here goes in the dashboard. This is the only part I didn't take off. Again, I wasn't exactly clear on how to assemble, but you can figure it out. And at least this way, you can actually see on camera better how the sub-assembly pieces going together. So the second chair is going in. Remember, I'll be taking all these off in a minute, and once I'm happy with that, you see a little bit of movement there, but it's coming together well. Well, I thought it was coming together well. And then for the bottom bunk to go in, and as you can see, the bottom bunk just fits in this little grid at the back of the seats. There's a lip at the front which goes facing the dashboard. Why, I don't know, but there you are. So that was the main part built, and I thought, yeah, that looks good, until I tried to fit the other part. Couldn't do it, so I tried putting that in first. I thought, yeah, that'll work then, that's how you do it. But of course I'd already put the seats on, and the seats had been on for about 5 minutes, 7 minutes at this point, but luckily they were still sitting and had time to get them off. So then it was just a simple case of regluing the sides and slotting them into position. And again, there's little notches there to line up. I had to do it off camera. I had to bring it up towards me slightly so that I can see exactly where it was going. And then it was back to the bottom bunk, which just slides in. Again, a little bit more fiddly here, but at least I knew where it was going after the mistake. And then of course re-glued the bottom part for the seats to go in. There was a little bit of plastic melt, but it was located in the actual joint, so it didn't affect the look of the model. So I just had to slightly angle under the steering wheel and put it in, and same with the other chair. Now I have to point out as well, it doesn't give you an option for right hand drive, only left hand drive, but they give you your Britain stickers, UK stickers, decals even. So why they did that, I don't know. So going back to the top now and just painting in the lights, which is done in Rebel Aqua 371, just to simulate the light fittings there. I've had a look. You don't actually get to see them. Well, it's very difficult once it's all together, but those are the things. At least you know it's done. And then the top overhead lockers go in. Then once they're in, they just lay flat on there, nicely fitted. Then the side panels. The side panel was a little bit tricky, but you know, I got them done in the end. So the side panels did take a little bit of work, but both went in the end. So it did work out okay. So I'm going to bring this part to an end, part 3, before I encase the inner cab. I thought this would be a good place to stop. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Why don't you check out my other videos, particularly on this playlist for the project that I'm doing. So for now, thank you all for watching. Bye bye.